I'm a avid bird watcher, so I like to sit outside and watch the birds in the mornings. So there's this tree across my yard that never blooms, but there's always red-billed woodpeckers on it, and they just go so hard, right? And they're just so cute. And I was just thinking to myself how, to me, that tree is dead. I don't need it. I don't want it. I think they should cut it out. But then it does so much for those birds, right? So then I was thinking how just because we don't want something doesn't mean it's not good for somebody else. And immediately I got this vision of this princess holding up her dress like in a rush, at walking to the table, and there's a king there, and there's like all this food there. And immediately I knew what the message was. And I'm probably going to butcher this, but this message is about King Ahasuerus, and he is Esther's husband. He was a shallow man. He really was a shallow man. He wanted his original wife to like prance around and like do things that he wanted, and he was very vain and shallow, right? And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. So he divorced her, and then he got married to Esther. And he did get married to her because of her looks. Sometimes God places us in people's hearts. And I think that's what happened in this section, in this story of the Bible. And he changed his ways, really. He changed his way from being a like shallow person to a loving, to more taking what she would say into consideration. And I think that that's what this message is about, in a sense of like, he wasn't good for the other woman, his first wife, right? Because he brought out that shallowness in him, essentially, because she allowed it. And in this message, he changed his way of being for Esther. So just because the first wife didn't see anything, that he was valuable for anything, that's not how Esther saw him. So symbolically, this is like the tree. The tree is going to provide to who it needs to provide to, essentially. So overall, I feel like this message is saying, just because you hear a story about somebody, like, you know how there's like scornful exes. Just because you hear them talking about bad about their ex-partner doesn't mean that that person cannot change, right? That means that person cannot do better, because they can. We see it in the Bible, and it's just really when God places it in their hearts to change. So in a sense, I want to say, like, don't give up on that person if you previously heard about how they were. But anyways, I hope this message helps you, lead you, guide you some way, somehow. Toodaloo.